joining us on yet another Webfire Wednesday webinar. On this call, it's part 2 of basically analyzing websites and such. So if you missed part 1 last week, make sure to watch that. It is in the members area under the training tab, because we not only basically analyzed a couple sites last week. I believe one was an e-commerce site and one was an info product, if memory serves. But we also gave you like a list of how to basically analyze your own site or those of your clients, essentially like a checklist. So make sure to go through that if you're looking for basically tips on how to analyze your own site or those of possible clients of yours. So with that, without further ado, we will get this show on the road. So once again, my name is Brett Brian Kaz, and this is again part 2 of how to analyze sites. And for those of you that are new, welcome here. We have our Wednesday calls every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is right now, and they'll either be live trainings and or Q&A calls. These trainings will either feature myself, Brian Kaz, Sean Casey, both of us at once, or occasionally a featured special guest if we think that their expertise would be of value to our members. If you're here or registered for this series, you'll get a reminder each week, so don't forget. But if you can't make one, we'll have the recordings in the members area within a day of any of the calls under the training tab on the left side navigation bar. Use these calls as an opportunity to get even more training, ask strategy type questions, get feedback or make suggestions on what else you'd like to see happen. And as a special note, make sure to check out our prior Wednesday calls as well as our other Webfire trainings, as there's tons of info already there that a lot of you have been asking for more information on. And very briefly, we'll go over the 3 Webfire member rules to success. Number 1, follow the steps in the trainings that we have. Oftentimes I see people that don't get the results that they want usually are missing at least one or more of the steps in our training. Number 2, don't give up. And this means, seek help when needed, but at the same time, don't get too dependent. If a quick Google search can solve your problem, by all means, do that. But if you're legitimately stuck, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. We're glad to help. And last but not least, no whining or negative attitudes, because we feel that's really the quickest way to fail at just about anything. And very, very quickly, we actually have a quick announcement here. This will be your last chance to actually get free tickets to our London, UK workshop. It's actually this Saturday from about 9 to 5 in London. So if that's of interest to you, or if you'll be in London or near there at that time, make sure to go to this link right here, getwebfire.com/London. So again, that is this Saturday. So make sure to take advantage of that if you're able to. Now let's move on to our training for this week on analyzing websites. Last week, we covered how to analyze your own websites or those of your clients, as well as we also did a website analysis for an e-commerce and an info product website. Today, we'll continue to analyze additional websites and give examples for a local business, selling web services, and an affiliate site too. So we tried to at least do one site from every basic category of sites. So we did 2 different categories last week, and this week we'll do 3 additional ones. So even though we can't analyze everyone's sites, we made sure again to do at least one from each category, as well as basically provide a checklist last week on what to look for so you can do one on your own or help out clients too. But here's some common issues. So we got tons and tons and tons of requests to do website analysis is. I think last I checked, I think we had like over 50 or 60, requests in, and I just want to point out some of the common issues that I've seen pretty much across the board. Not in all cases, but I'd say like a lot of times if there were issues, it tended to be these, and these are pretty widespread issues too. Like the majority of sites tend to have at least one or more of these issues right here. First, poor keyword targeting. I don't care if you're a local business or if you're an e-com site or an info product site. There's a lot of sites out there that the keywords that you're trying to target are just complete crap. Like you'll have either zero chance of ranking, or they're not really even relevant. Like I've seen local businesses try to target like very broad keywords without even mentioning the local area that they're in. So if someone's trying to search for you in a local area and you're a local business, the last thing you want to do is do such a bad job at the keyword targeting that you don't even mention your site. It's kind of like, imagine you're a Chinese restaurant in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, you do not want to try to rank for Chinese food in general. That would be basically an idiotic move at best, because not only is it extremely competitive, 99.999% of that traffic is not looking to eat Chinese food in Atlanta, Georgia. Terms like Chinese restaurant, Atlanta, Georgia, or anything like that would be far more relevant to you. And as common sense as that sounds, I see a lot of you completely missing that. Or if you're trying to sell, like let's say a product and how older men or older women can lose weight, don't try to target a keyword like diet or weight loss. Is it somewhat relevant to your topic? Sure. Is it really completely dead on? No, because you might have a weight loss product specifically for older men or older women. So trying to go after weight loss or diet by itself isn't really relevant to you. And on top of that, it's extremely tough to actually rank for a lot of those general terms. I also see a very poor use of title tags. Oftentimes the sites that don't rank don't have relevant title tags on their site. Oftentimes I'll see people that will call a home page just home. And if you're trying to do a good job of trying to get Google not to rank you, just name your home page home, and that will do that. Because imagine if you went to a bookstore and you're looking for a certain topic, and you come across, let's say, a book that has a completely blank cover, and for the title it just says title. Okay, what is the book about? Now you probably wouldn't know. Is it relevant to what you're possibly looking for? Sure. Is it worth your time to read it and find out? Probably not. And Google kind of thinks the same way. If you don't even title your stuff well, it's probably not even worth their time to really read it and find out. So make sure that you're targeting the keywords well and taking advantage of the title tags of every web page that you have. Another issue outside of SEO is that there's a lot of unclear web pages or sales pages as well as offers. A lot of you have offers where it's not really clear what you're selling or what your offer is or what the pros or the benefits are. And really just trying to clear up exactly what your site's about or what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to accomplish can go a long ways. A lot of you also have confusing offers. I've seen some that try to sell everything that they can think of with no clear direction, or they're trying to sell something where it doesn't really seem like they're listing out the benefits or the features. It's just they're basically all over the place. So you want to make sure that you're crystal clear and not confusing as to what your site's about or what you're selling. Another thing is that a lot of people have no clear goal or call to action. So if your goal of the site is to get a lead, make it super easy for someone to sign up. If your goal is to make a sale, make it super easy for someone to buy from you. You know, we've seen sites where you have to go through 4 or 5, you know, loops basically to actually buy the product. And it's basically like, imagine if you went to a store and you had to go through 4 checkout lines just to buy what you're trying to buy. Again, not really the best shopping experience. You'll lose a lot of sales that way. You also, even if you're just an affiliate site, you want to make it clear where they should click or how they should buy the product that you're recommending. I've seen a bunch of affiliate sites where they're selling, you know, all sorts of different kinds of affiliate products and stuff like that, where, you know, some of them don't even have a link to click to the product that they're recommending. So somehow you're supposed to magically find your link somewhere on your site and click it. Guess what? That's not going to happen. You have to make it crystal clear, okay? Very, very crystal clear. I mean, literally, if you have, like, let's say a review of a product that you're an affiliate for, at the very bottom, you want to specifically say in big bold letters, click here to, you know, get this, or click here to get the best deal on this, or click here to get my best recommendation. You know, make it crystal clear what you want them to do. Make it very bluntly obvious. And if you're not sure if it's obvious or not, you're probably not doing the best job, because it has to be bluntly obvious what you want them to do there. So with that, guys, I will pause the screen for a second as I move on to the website analyses. And as a side note, at the very end, I know there's a handful of new people on this call that I recognize. Just as a side note, every week we do a cash giveaway at the very end of the call. You'll have a chance to actually win $100 cash. I'll talk more about that in just a bit. And this week you'll have, I think, an even greater chance, because I've noticed that GoToWebinar seemed to be having some issues this week, so I think a lot of people didn't get the actual email reminders, including me. So they seem to be having issues on the GoToWebinar side. So you all should have a greater chance of winning some dough there as well. So that's a win-win there. So I'm just going to pause the screen for a second. And I'm going to pull up some other websites that we have of yours. All right. So the first site that we have here is a affiliate blog or an affiliate site. Yeah, and it looks like I see there's a handful of questions here saying that they didn't get the reminder email. Yeah, I actually noticed that same thing. So I think that GoTo was having a bit of an issue, and it's rare that they have an issue, but I think like 1 out of 10 times or so they seem to have issues. So there's, you know, this is one of those times right there. So that's too bad, but we'll look into that and make sure that hopefully it doesn't happen next week. But either way, we have recordings of this up. And Kristen, really quick, you're basically asking what is a title tag. A title tag is basically what Google sees on your site when you do a search. So if you do a search, you know, on Google for basically any keyword, all the sites that show up with a blue link, usually the words within the blue link are a title tag. And what you can do as well is you can go to our website analysis tool, and it will tell you what your title tag is on any given web page that you have. So you want to make sure that the title tag you have is relevant to what you're trying to rank for. And a cool way to actually rank very, very easily is if you do a keyword search on Google, or you use our keyword tool inside of Webfire, if there's 2 or less sites on the first page of Google that contain the exact keyword phrase that you're trying to rank for, you have a very good chance of showing up on page 1. If there's a lot more than 2, like let's say there's like 7 or so, or more that have the exact phrase on page 1, you'll have a much harder time of being able to rank for that term right there. And again, our keyword tool will actually break that down for you and tell you which keywords are easier or harder to rank for and all that right there. All right. So with that, guys, I'll move on to the website analysis here. So the first one we have is coolsurfstuff.com. This is by a member of ours right here. And again, it's my understanding is that it's an affiliate site. And so that means that they're meant to have affiliate links and stuff to make dough off of it. And my first impression of it is I don't know how this will make any money as an affiliate. Because I see that you have some ads on the right side. I see you say some cool surf stuff, but people aren't just like, ooh, I need a wetsuit. I'm going to click on that now. It's not really how people work. Is it possible? Yeah, but you want to kind of give some recommendations and stuff throughout your actual content. So if you want to talk about how like what basically the benefits are of, let's say, a certain wetsuit over another, that is a great thing that you can do. If you want to write reviews about wetsuits versus, I don't know what these are called. What's that called? Common out on the West Coast, I know, where it's like kind of like a wet shirt. So it's not like a wetsuit, but it's a shirt that people wear when they swim that keeps them a little warm. It's one of those things where if you want to write, reviews of that, great, by all means do that. But, that is a much easier way to drive not only traffic, but also much more likely to increase the click-through rates going to your affiliate links. The other thing right here too is, I would also like right here, the title that you have of this blog post right here, I would almost get rid of this first part right here. And I would try to target that keyword a little bit better. If you're trying to target, I'm guessing, like something related to surfing in Bali's Phuket Peninsula, or however you say that, maybe do some keyword research and see, what keywords are people searching for relevant to that right there. And then try to target like 1 or 2 of those keywords, in the title. Like, it could be like, what you need to know when surfing in Bali's Phuket Peninsula, or, any term like that. So do a little research right there. The other thing too is I would focus on making the actual article way easier to actually read. Like right here, people love it when you break stuff down in bullet points and headlines. And you have some, but they're not in bold. So it's very hard to actually read. So if I want to jump down to, let's say, accommodation, it's very hard to see that. You want that to be larger or at least in bold, so the different sections and stuff stand out. The other thing too is, if your primary thing is about surfing there, really give some insider tips and stuff. Like this is probably, I'd say, too general of an article to really get guys like probably terribly excited. I mean, if you want to have a separate article where you want to target food in that area, great. If you want to have a separate one where you specifically talk about where the best waves are and stuff, target terms like that. So you can have multiple blog posts or web pages trying to target all those different terms there. But if your main goal is to sell stuff as an affiliate, I think instead of just having this be about this specific bay or peninsula right here, why not start to write reviews of gear and stuff related to surfing? Because if that is your goal there, it doesn't really seem that, it doesn't really seem that you're trying to really hit, on that right there. So definitely do that. And one of the things, again, like if you're writing a review, always look for products that at least have some sales. So if you're writing a review of a product that doesn't seem to be all that popular, no one appears to be buying, then writing a review probably won't drive a lot of traffic and probably won't magically make a lot of sales. You want to go for products and stuff that get a lot of sales each month, so you can kind of piggyback off of the traffic looking for reviews and all that stuff right there. And then when you target those review type terms, again, use either the keyword tool or go to Google and type in, review type terms like, such and such wetsuit, review, or review of such and such wetsuit, and, see if there's, 2 or less exact match keyword phrases on page 1, you have a very good chance of ranking. If there's 0, you have an almost guaranteed chance of being on page 1. So make sure that you research, those review terms ahead of time, right there. But that's what I would do, if I were you in that case, especially if your goal is to sell surf stuff. I wouldn't have it be such a narrow scope on this site here, followed by, again, no real call to action throughout the text itself, no products being promoted, in the product or in the article or blog post itself. Yeah, so like it looks like you have a watch, which maybe this will be like a review that you have. I would also, this, I'd say it's not like a horrible review, but there's a few things that you can change. So this appears to be like a review that you're basically mentioning, because I assume this isn't your watch, because you said that this was an affiliate site, if memory serves. So as such, again, I would get rid of this part right here, and maybe just have Rip Curl, Ship Stern, Tidemaster 2, Tide Watch review. If you want to have it be like a review by Cool Surf Stuff, okay, but have the main focus be on the main product followed by review, or some term like that, or review of product review, product 1 versus product 2 if there's 2 popular products or anything like that. And then anytime you write a review, try to make it as easy to read as possible and have a good call to action. So one of the things I like to do is have basically a summary, like maybe a paragraph long, if not less, that just sums up what the product is. Then list out the pros and cons in basically like a bullet point type format, where you say these are the pros, these are the cons. Then have basically a conclusion, which is what you think after you list off the pros and cons, and essentially a bullet point, and then have a call to action. So if you think it's a good product, tell them to click here to basically buy. Like right here, you don't have any call to action. And I assume maybe this is probably an affiliate link right there, but who is going to say, oh, watch is blue, I'm going to click it? Not a lot of people think that way, because you'd be shocked at the number of people that don't even know that a blue word with the underline is a link. A lot of people don't know that. And even if you have that, they think, oh, this might just be a random ad for some watch, because there's a lot of things that have that right there. So you want to be crystal clear and say, click here to get the best deal I found on this watch, and have that whole thing be a link. You want to make it crystal clear what you want them to do, and this is not crystal clear here. You also want to make sure that with that too, that on top of all these changes that I just said, one thing that you can do on top of that is you can use like the lead tools and stuff that we have and look for guys asking questions on like surfing watches or dive watches or whatever they might be called. I'm not sure exactly what the you know, what the names of those things would be and all that, but you can find guys asking questions on it, looking for reviews on it, answer a couple questions and drive them to your site as well. But if you're looking to do some more reviews, definitely try to target high-end things that make you more money as well. It's not as fun to make like $1 or $2 a sale compared to hundreds of dollars a sale and all. So that's a few tips that I would do right off the bat, right there. So the next site that we have here is a site that sells some web services and stuff. And one thing I noticed about this is right off the bat,
critical alert
you
from
don't see it
Microsoft.
now. Yeah, it looks like you have a virus on this. Yeah, I actually noticed that when I first loaded that site up. Your site, it had like a lot of Flash stuff pop up, and it said my stuff was outdated. And even though I have like a fairly updated browser, it was basically asking me for push notifications, and you had like a bunch of pop-ups. So definitely check out and make sure that your site isn't infected with something like that, because I saw at least like 2 or 3 pop-ups that didn't really make sense there. But moving that aside, there's a lot of things that you could change with your site here where you're trying to sell a web service. One is you're very confusing on what your offer is. So it says, okay, so you're an advertising and marketing company, you know, professionals with a heart. I don't quite get what With a Heart really does for me. Okay, it's great that you say that you're nice, but if I'm looking for an advertising and marketing company, what do I want? I want results. So anything that you say that doesn't show me or hint at the results and stuff that I can get is probably just wasted space. You also have this big background that has, again, nothing to do with anything with advertising and marketing. It looks more like, you know, a tourist or like a vacation type thing. The other thing is that you say it's online marketing tools for small business, but at the same time down here, it looks like, you know, you're trying to sell some web services. So are you selling services or are you selling tools? You're not all that clear. Also right here, you have a free keyword research tool, which when I click that, it goes to like another opt-in page. And it's just, you're all over the place. What is it that you're trying to do? Are you trying to get guys to go to the keyword tool where you get a lead? Are you trying to get guys to perhaps use your services down here? It's not clear. And if you're selling services instead of tools, what does download mean and play now mean? Like, what is that? I can click play on this, but what am I downloading? I mean, it's super, super confusing. And if I'm confused on your website, I'm going to run away. Because if I think, hey, if this guy can't even make a clear message on a site, he's probably not able to have a clear message when advertising or marketing. So definitely clean that up. The other thing is, you know, you have a video here that seems out of place. When you play it, I'll just play it real quick. I won't play the whole thing, but I'll just play some right here. Okay, just, I mean, the video you have here, it doesn't do anything. Like, you have a background of clouds or mountains or something, or snow, I'm not quite sure, and you have some text that pops up down here, and the text is at the very bottom. You have a huge amount of space here that's just basically empty. I mean, you could go to Fiverr right now. You could hire a guy for $5 that can make you a video 100 times better than what you have right now, or just eliminate basically the video as a whole, because I'm not quite sure what this even does for you. It's a waste of space. It doesn't give me a clear idea of what you're selling or what it is. I mean, again, if I went to your site, even after spending all this time, I still don't know what your site is. I don't know what you're trying to actually sell. It looks like you don't even quite know what it is that you're trying to sell. So I would recommend that you focus on, just a few things. And also, you want to make sure that the images and stuff that you use are consistent. Like you go from up here having a waterfall to like a snowy mountain type thing to, even your support thing down here is a diamond. So what does a diamond ring have to do with any of that? Nothing. I mean, again, it's confusing as to what's what. The other thing too, you say it's a store. So I was like, well, crap, are you selling, an SEO service or is this a store? I don't know. When I click on store, which doesn't really make a ton of sense, I see that you're selling services and stuff. And when you look at the services that you're trying to sell, they're extremely vague. Like right here, it says, oh, this isn't a bad deal. He does social media marketing for $5 a month. But what is it that you really do? It doesn't really say. So you don't really describe what that is. And even though that might be a super awesome deal, I mean, it looks super cheap, you don't really say what that is. Like, what is it? What is the benefits? What are you doing? You don't know. And that's just, like even right here, on the left side, you have $49 per month for 100,000 Facebook, impressions, and you include a fan page or a website URL. At least I think you're including that. So if that's the case, that seems very cheap for you to make a fan page. But how are you getting those impressions? I mean, right off the bat, my first thought is, oh, that's probably fake traffic, probably not all that good. 100,000 impressions usually would cost a decent chunk. So for you to include all that just seems like, it's almost too good to be true, so you'd probably scare away people. And right here, the fact that you're only $5 a month for social media marketing, what is that? What do you include on that? I mean, it seems almost, it would be like if I said, hey, you can get unlimited food for $5 a month. Okay, everyone would be like, what exactly do you mean? What exactly is the deal here? Doesn't quite make sense. It's almost too good to be true. So definitely clean these up, and if you want to focus on like, one or two or three main offers, great, but have it be clear. List off the benefits, list off exactly what they get. Maybe show examples of that, examples of your work, because right now I'm clueless as to what you basically offer. I don't know. So definitely you want to clean that up, have a precise offer, because even if you target your guys really well, so stepping outside of SEO, even if you target your guys really well, you won't make sales because your actual offers are not clear at all. And having said that, there's another site here along the same notes, which I won't want to show off. It's done a little bit nicer in terms of selling a web service and such. But even then, I'd say there's a few things that could be fixed with this site. So this site is a bit more clear. The second I go to it, it clearly is an SEO agency. They're clearly selling most likely an SEO service. So I like that's much more clear than basically the prior example. But even here, I'd say one of the big things that you're probably missing is, it looks like, you say you're an SEO agency, but down here you talk about, you're a Manchester SEO company. Is there a reason why you think you have to be local in that case right there? If you want to specialize only in Manchester, okay, that's fine. Even though for SEO it really shouldn't matter. But if that's the case, make sure that in your title tags that you basically target words, well, here, let's just actually check this. Let's do a quick search. And I'll let it do that, and we'll come back to that in a bit. But one thing right here is that you have a super fast call to action where basically within seconds of them seeing that you're an SEO agency, you have them fill out, essentially an application before you show any proof that you know what you're doing, and before you give them an idea of what you're capable of doing. Imagine if you went to a realtor and they said, hey, great, I see you're looking to buy a house. I got the paperwork. It's right here. Sign it and buy it right now. And you're like, well, wait. I want to see the house first. I want to see what homes you have listed. They're like, no. Just here's our application. Sign it right here. Fill it out. Make that offer right now, and you can have a house. It doesn't quite work that way. People want to see what it is that they're basically getting. One thing that you could do instead of having it go straight to an application, unless the only way that this makes sense is if this is like the site that they saw after they saw like the webinar or after they saw some other info. In that case, this could possibly work. But one thing that you could do instead is have like a call to action that's like, hey, click here to watch, our free webinar or video or whatever showing how to easily or how local businesses can easily get ranked. And then, because that's of basically interest to the local businesses that are probably using you, in Manchester, if that's your, basic area there. And in that case, they're like, okay, well, I don't know if I want to hire this guy yet, but I want to see what he has to say, and I definitely want to see what he has to say about how I can get ranked. If you want to specialize in the local area, you can specify it down to, hey, click here to watch our webinar to see how businesses in Manchester can easily get ranked. And on the webinar, which can just be a replay, it doesn't have to be live, you can have them opt in first, so they opt in to get the call for free, or they opt in to get the video for free, so that way you grab the lead right there and you only ask for their email versus all this other info right here. Because the less info you ask for, the more likely you are to get them to follow through. And then on the video, it could be like a handful of bullet points on a PowerPoint, as well as like a recording of your own screen, walking through, like, let's say a Google search, and walking through like 1 or 2 example sites saying, hey, this guy ranks at the very top here, and it appears that he's basically doing a good job here, here, and here. Whereas this guy is on page 2 or 3, and as you can see here, he's doing a bad job of targeting relevant keywords here. He's doing a bad job of having this in his title tag. He's doing a bad job of having backlinks to site. I mean, and explain it in a dumbed down way, like I'm basically doing like the super fast way, but explain it in a dumbed down way at their, at their level, and then at the very end have a call to action saying, hey, I hope you got value out of this. But here's some examples of clients we have, or some examples of work that we've done, where here's a site, like even if you did like a schema example, like, hey, here's a site with a schema, here's a site without a schema. Here's a site that basically dominates the first half of Google. Here's a site that does not. Which one would you rather be? Show some examples like that, and then say, hey, if you're interested in having us do some work for you, just simply fill out our application right here. And I would also give probably some indication of price there. You don't have to, but oftentimes if you don't have a price, people assume that you're super expensive. So if you are super expensive, okay, I mean, maybe there might be a reason why you wouldn't want to have the price, but if you're not like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a month, I would definitely like say prices start at X amount right there, because then it reassures them that like this isn't like a $10,000 or $20,000 a month thing if they're a small local business and such. But at the same time, don't underprice yourself, but try not to just know that the more you hide a price, the less likely people are to follow through on it as well, as they, typically people hate sales, so they don't want to be called by a sales guy. They don't want to be sold on something only to find out later that's like 10 times their budget. So just again, keep that in mind right there. But definitely, I'd say have a better call to action right here. That should greatly help in first getting more leads in, but on top of that, probably getting more and establishing more social proof and making more sales then as well right there. Another site that we have here, this is a local business in South Africa. And one thing, so upon a brief glance, it would seem that, hey, it's pretty obvious that you sell basically trailers, it looks like. And yeah, and that's all great right there. Oh, and actually, I'll go back to the main site. I think this is one of the ones I clicked on. Actually, before I jump onto that site, let's go back to the website analysis that I did that I forgot to go to. So with that, I just want to show this. So for Barry's site there, so you have right here, your title tag. So I'm sorry for jumping ahead. I actually forgot that I ran the website analysis and then switched back screens. But you see here, it's not a horrible title tag, but you'd have to see, like, look up the keyword Manchester SEO and see if that's really a term that people are searching versus like SEO company Manchester, or marketing agency Manchester UK. Like, you have to do some keyword searches and see which one actually gets more searches, because I'm not sure if Manchester SEO by itself would actually be a good phrase or not right there. And I would also add UK in there, as well, because that can increase your chances of ranking and such too. And like even right here for Manchester SEO company, you'd have a very good chance of ranking for that term if you were to use that term. But again, you want to make sure and check to see if that's the keyword that you'd want to basically go after right there. And then also check every individual page that you have as well. So if you have separate pages, you can target different terms. So if one part is specifically on SEO, you could have basically the title tag of that page be geared towards, like, SEO company in Manchester, or the #1 SEO company in Manchester. And then if you have another page that's geared towards social media or marketing agency in general, you can have it be, social media management, in Manchester, or whatever it might be with that. So having said that, I'll go back to this site right here. So first I'll go to the main site. So I think I accidentally clicked on a different one here. So when we go here, I mean, it's clearly about, trailers and such. And it looks like, it's slightly confusing on what you want to do. So I'm guessing you're selling the trailers, and these might be the trailers that you're currently selling. So let's click on this one. All right, so you have a picture, but I don't see any call to action, or I don't see a way to buy. So you have a trailer range. It looks like you have some other trailers and stuff here. Let's click on commercial trailers. And let's just click one, because I assume, like before, you don't have the pricing or basically anything listed on it. So I don't know what you want them to do. If you just want them to look at trailers, that's an okay job. If you want them to buy them, you probably want to list off some prices. You probably want to list ways that they can contact you. And yeah, you have a contact us up here, but that's kind of a crappy job to just have like a contact us. You want to have a call to action, maybe list the prices off, or if they need a quote on a trailer, make it bluntly obvious, like, hey, email us here, for a quote, or call us here. The other thing too that I want to show off right here. So we'll do another website analysis on this one. So this is specifically on your commercial page. I think you said commercial trailers South Africa, because that was the place you are. Now, you would probably know this more than me, but like, would you say that essentially your clients are more likely to be anywhere in South Africa, or specifically from like a certain region? I mean, you would know far, far more about basically your local market than me, but if like 90% of your sales are from a certain city, where you're located, I probably wouldn't try to rank nationwide, on that. Whereas if you think that they're equally spread across all over, sure. But make sure that you know the answer to that first. The other thing too is, again, I would provide a lot more info. I would also target your keywords better. Like what you'll see here, and this is one I actually checked on prior, it's almost done right here. But for this page right here, the keyword you're trying to target in your title tag is commercial trailers. Now, there's two issues with that. First, it's not localized. I assume someone searching for commercial trailers, 99.9% of that traffic is not from South Africa. Therefore, they're not a client of yours. Therefore, don't waste your time in trying to rank for such a broad term. As you'll see here, your title tag just is commercial trailers. What I would do instead is maybe say commercial trailers for sale in South Africa, or commercial trailers for sale in whatever city in South Africa you're based in. That would basically give you a much greater chance to essentially rank. And even on your description tag here, you have zero mention right here of where you are based. You talk about the length of the trailers, but not where they are. So Google doesn't quite know where you are, so they're not likely to really give you a lot of rankings based upon that right there. And you have an excellent chance of ranking for the keyword that we just off the top of our head for commercial trailers South Africa. You have an excellent chance of ranking for that if you target it on your title tags and such. The other thing too is you can do this for every kind of trailer that you have. And I would also, you say our trailer range. I'm not sure if that's a common term by you, but I don't know if like types of trailers for sale or some link like that might make a bit more sense, unless range is a term that is unique to South Africa or unique to your area where that makes sense. At least in the U.S. that sounds a bit odd. You have for like custom trailers, that's awesome, that basically do the custom stuff. And it's awesome that you have some examples of the custom stuff that you do. But the big issue here is, like, you say, hey, look, here's all the custom stuff that we've done. Great, but what's missing? What do they do next? There's no call to action. There's nothing there at all. There's not even like a price range. Like, you don't give them any idea. So some guy might think, oh, custom one might cost a fortune. And if that's not the case, give them an idea. Say, we can do custom ones starting at this, or ranging from this to that, or whatever it might be. But right now you don't do a good job of giving them an idea of what that might be, and you don't do a good job of any call to action. And also the title tags or the keywords that you're trying to go for are way too generic and don't mention the local business, which is probably the biggest mistake a local business could make, is not doing the stuff to actually tell Google and such where they are. So definitely fix up that there, and that should greatly increase your chances and such. The other thing that you can do as well, I'm not sure how big the custom trailer market and stuff is, but you could use like the lead tools and such to kind of look for guys maybe asking questions on custom trailers. And it's not like there's probably like a ton of leads every day on that, but even if there's like 1 or 2 a week on that, those can add up over time. You can spend like a minute or two basically answering a handful of questions and such there, and start to drive the traffic from there back to your own site with a much better call to action, a much clearer site, and by trying to at the same time definitely try to target those local keywords and such right there. So with that, guys, I'm just going to pause this as I switch on back. All right, so with that, guys, if you have any other questions, then feel free to ask that now, and then we'll do the cash giveaway as well. And here's how that works. And this week, you have an even greater chance of winning, because the GoToWeb webinar was having an issue, so it didn't send out the reminder email. So that means there's a bit less than normal on this call, so you should have an even greater chance of winning. So if you go to getwebfire.com/FB group, that's our private Facebook group. If you're not a member yet, it is free to actually join that. Sharon will approve you within like a minute, so make sure you go there right now. She has a post up basically asking what you thought of today's call. And if you leave a comment within that post, I'll pick a random person that leaves a comment, so I know that you're actually live and on this call, and I will actually PayPal them $100 right at the end of this call. So you can get $100 in our cash giveaway contest right there by basically going to getwebfire.com/FB group. Join if you're not a free member of that yet, and then leave a comment within the post where Sharon's asking what you thought of today's training. So make sure it's a post that she has from today. Makes it much easier to count. And with that, if you're from the London area, again, you can go to getwebfire.com/London for free tickets to our London event. So with that, we can go to the questions now. So let me see what questions there are. Since I'm just going to switch over screens really quick to I'll just show an example of where to do the comment. So right here is the Facebook group, and again, Sharon will approve you, within a minute, and you'll just leave a comment right here. That this is the post she has right there, and you'll leave a comment right there, and we'll pick a random winner within a few minutes here. So with that, we'll move on to the questions. So there's a question here on what is well, they say, all right, you said it wrong. I think what you're trying to ask is what is a meta keyword tag? It's not really terribly as relevant now, but it's basically code that you tell basically Google and such that tells you what, it basically tells them what you're hoping or trying to rank for. So right here, If we look at the site analysis tool, it tells you the title tag, it tells you the description tag and all that. The title tag is by far the most important, to have it be basically optimized for the term that you're attempting to rank for. The description tag is probably the second most. The keyword tag is like a very minor. I mean, there's plenty, though there's some people that claim it's basically irrelevant, but from the research that we've done by actually like analyzing thousands and thousands and thousands of sites, we do see that it's actually relevant, just very minorly. And again, with our tool right here, any of these issues you can easily fix by just basically clicking the fix link right there. And Jim, yes. So all of the tools within WebFire are available for all the WebFire users. Absolutely. All right. April asked here, if you're displaying the price of your service, is a get a quote form a good thing? All right, and then she basically corrects herself and says if you're not displaying it. So basically, I like to usually be upfront with prices because I find that's what the majority of people like. The only exception is if you're in like a niche where it's highly customizable, like let's say you're a programmer and you do programming as a service. You can't say you'll make every tool for X amount of money. There's some stuff that might only take a half hour of your time. There's some stuff that might take a year. So obviously the prices will change. But if you're selling pretty much the exact same thing, basically what your prices, are there. So I like to be a bit more upfront with that, and I find people typically respond better to that, and it saves a lot of time. Like if your price is too high for someone, it saves a lot of basically back and forth. And yeah, in that case, you wouldn't have to have a get a quote form or anything like that. You could just have a buy now button in that case. All right. All right, there's a question here on if I have an opinion on a certain WordPress plugin. I don't know every WordPress plugin out there, but as far as like an SEO one, WebFire has its own. But as long as as long as you have a basic SEO plugin that lets you easily edit essentially the title tags or makes the titles of your blog posts be the title tags, that's the main thing that you should be worried about right there. And again, the WebFire plugin does all that stuff and more right there. All right. All right, there's a question here on how important is keyword density these days. So really it comes down to so what keyword density means, it's what percentage of time a certain keyword on a page shows up. So if your keyword phrase is, let's say, I don't know, let's say commercial trailer South Africa. It's how often does that phrase show up on your site? My rule of thumb is, make sure it at least shows up once or twice. Okay, so don't try to. It's not nearly as important now to have like an exact per percent. Many years ago, Google looked at like the keyword density a lot more. Now they just want to make sure that it's relevant to your site. So if you don't mention the keyword that you're trying to rank for at all, it's much less likely that they'll basically rank you. All right. All right, and there's a question here that says, I'm selling SEO services, one very unique, which is not the norm. I'm not quite sure what your question is, but you know, regardless of what kind of service you're selling, even if it's not the norm, just make sure that you're crystal clear in laying out basically what the benefits are and what the end result is and why they basically want to go with you. And a great method of basically doing that is to have guys basically opt in to see like a webinar replay or like a video where you basically explain all that, you help them out, then you have a call to action where they can buy through you as well there. All right. All right. All right. Jeff asked here, are backlinks the most important thing in SEO? No. In the vast majority of cases, no. Are they important? Sure, especially for the more competitive terms, but the most important thing typically is what your title tag is. It's the keywords in your title tag that usually is the most important, and it's the easiest thing that you can change too. After that, it'd be like stuff like the description tag, and only for like very competitive terms would I say that backlinks, especially from relevant sites, would be more important. So yeah, for definitely the more the more competitive terms, backlinks can definitely be a factor. But if you target the proper keywords well, basically in your title tags, there's a lot of times where you wouldn't need them. But they definitely do help, and they can be quite important too in some cases there. All right, Jim asked here, with a video site where there are multiple videos on different pages for each video, is it better to have a page for each video rather than putting multiple videos on each page? There's always exceptions to the rule, but typically the rule of thumb is you'd want to have I'd say like one relevant article or video per page. Now there are exceptions where like if it makes sense to have like two or three on a page, great, but if you have one where it's just like video after video after video, unless you're like a YouTube, that probably wouldn't really make a ton of sense. Or unless like the exception might be is let's say you have a site on how to improve your tennis game, and one of the pages is how to hit a faster forehand. If you have several videos specifically on how to hit a faster forehand, you can put several of those on one page, but have it be a different page for how to hit a faster backhand, or a faster serve, or a better volley, or whatever it might be. Because the more relevant you basically have it, the more likely you are to get that page ranked, rather than just have one page with tons of videos where it will range from like how to hit a faster forehand to a faster serve to a better volley. It just seems a bit all over the place right there. All right. All right. Jeff asks here, he said he fixed up the tags, but he does not have any backlinks, and basically he's wondering if he needs those to rank. So that basically depends upon the keyword. So first, first, don't just like fix like basically tags. Make sure that the keywords that you're trying to target are less competitive and easier to rank for. So you have to make sure that you optimize it for keywords that you have a good chance of ranking for. So if you do that, typically by itself you should rank. Now, Google won't instantly see a change that you made, so it might take anywhere from, you know, basically hours to sometimes even weeks for them to notice that your site has changed. One way to speed that up is if you go to the Site Submitter tool right here under SEO and keywords, just right here where it says submit your site. That kind of knocks on the front door and gets you noticed a little faster. You can also, if you do like one article or like one video and you link back to your site, that can rank it faster as well because they'll see the video, especially if it's on YouTube, and they'll follow that link back too. So that's another trick to get you ranked faster. So I would try that and wait maybe a week and see, and if still not, let me know, and I'd be happy to take a look at that. As long as you tell me like what keyword or keywords you're trying to actually rank for, Jeff. All right, Michael asked, how important are internal links for SEO? Now, internal links basically are links to your own pages. You know, again, they can help, especially like now. It's not, the name of the game isn't just getting ranked initially, it's maintaining the rankings. And one of the things that Google looks at is how long a person stays on your site, and also how likely they are to click on and go to your site to start with. So, you know, if they come to your site and there's, you know, internal links and they can click on it and go to other pages and such, you know, it keeps them on your site more, and that can actually help, you know, increase your rankings and maintain your rankings and such too. But again, the title tags and all that, I'd say are usually more important, and the keyword selection as well there. All right, Kristen asked here how to find out what keywords are less competitive. Well, easy way is to use the main keyword tool inside of WebFire right here, just where it says keyword tool. It will tell you which ones are more or less hard. You can also, if you go to Google, if you type in any keyword phrase and you basically add up all the sites that are not ads, so only the organic ones, and you list out, you know, how many have that exact keyword phrase in their title tag or in their blue link. If there's less than 2, you have a very good chance of ranking. If there's a lot more than 2, you'll have a tougher chance. If there's 0, you have an almost guaranteed chance of being on page 1. All right, Jim asks where he can find part 1. Well, part 1 you can find under our training. You just go to Wednesday training, and it's this one right here. So this is Analyze Website. That was the call from a week ago, and this would be part 2. And I'll actually get them to maybe rename this to, you know, number 1, and then today's call will be number 2. So with that, guys, let's give some cash away now. All right, so I'll just refresh this page again. I'll give you maybe another 10 seconds to leave a comment on under here, and I'll refresh. So we'll give you a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll refresh that. All right, 23 comments. Usually we have like 2 or 3 times that. So obviously the there was a link issue where GoTo didn't send out alerts. So apologize for that, but hopefully they'll get that sorted for next week right there. So with that, let's see. Let's see, there's 23 right now. All right, so there's 23 here. And just to answer your question real quick here, Christian, on your Shopify store, so probably the Shopify site itself might have a sitemap, but I'd have to see your site itself to see if specifically it mentions your site or not right there, but just send us a note and we'd be happy to take a look on that right there. All right, so with that, I'll add up. So it looks like we're up to 25 now. 26, 27, 28. All right, plus someone's writing right now. I'll give you a chance to wrap it up in the next 5. So it looks like they got shy. All right. So actually do 25 plus 1 more, 26. Looks like there's 26 comments on it. Let's do 1 to 26. All right, 22 is the lucky winner. So 25, 24, 23, 20. Oh, Sharon, our worker. A random chance is the winner. But that would be kind of mean if we gave it to our own worker. I think this is actually the second time that we actually won that, Sharon. So we'll actually do a redraw, all right? Because we don't want to give it to Sharon. Not that we don't like her. That just wouldn't seem fair because she's our helper. Oh, number 1 got it this time. So I've never had number 1 until now. That's kind of cool. So that'll be this person. So the one that did not get the links is a good thing that we actually checked here. So Cindy Cannon, if that is you, or if that looks like you, or if you're from Detroit, Michigan, with 25 friends, you are $100 richer. So make sure to mention your PayPal email in the chat box, and Sharon will get that PayPal over to you right away. So again, congratulations to Cindy Cannon. You are $100 richer. So the first person to leave a comment. So I kind of like that. So good thing that you got the link there. And yeah, you know, again, I apologize. I usually go to, they automatically send out, you know, reminders. But it looks like this time there was a handful of mistakes on GoTo side. They also didn't send me one, so I know a lot of people missed this call, but that's why we have the recordings, and we'll follow up with them and hopefully make sure that that does not happen next week. But with that, guys, I want to thank all of you for joining us on this call. If you have any other questions or anything else that pops up, feel free to reach out to our support. You can actually go inside the WebFire members area on the top right side right here. You can click on these support to go to our help desk. So there's never like an email issue or anything like that. Or you can also write support@webfire.com. So with that, guys, thanks for joining us on this call, and I look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So with that, guys, take care. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.